Carter's Corner Pocket, where we feel the rocket. Today, talking GameStop. What's going down? I've been at GameStop all morning with my kids. I woke up today. I didn't plan to go to GameStop today. They had the Pokemon release. I wasn't even gonna go. What's up, J Dubs? Glad you tuned in. Michael V, what's up, man? Yeah, I wasn't even planning to go. I just woke up and I told my son, I was like, GameStop. They're releasing Pokemon cards today. He's like, they are? I'm like, yeah. I didn't even want to tell. I haven't even told him every single Friday. So, because if I told him I'd be there every single Friday, today I'm off. Today I'm off, so straight. But yeah, we got the Mewtwo box over here. We got Prismatic Evolutions, 3 of them, right? 3 of them. My daughter, one of them is my daughter's, and one my son got for his friend whose birthday tomorrow. I got 4 of them. One of them is mine. I got this Charizard just because. My son already opened this Charizard, ripped it like an animal, just like I recorded it. I was thinking of making a video just to annoy all the adults that collect Pokemon cards. Like, he's not careful with it at all, just ripping it apart. Could be damaging, whatever. But it was cool. It was cool. Handled very well. The first GameStop I went to, they had 1 employee. The dude was a beast, answering the phone, signing up people for memberships, getting the line moving. Second one I went to, there were more people. They had the first one I went to had fewer boxes, but I got everything I needed. I went there like about, I guess, 45 minutes before they opened. Not even 30 minutes before they opened, and I got what I needed. The other one was like stacked with like 30 of these EV Prismatic Evolution surprise boxes. They had like 30 something after I was done at the first one. Then I just went down the street. I have like 3 GameStops in like a 1 mile radius. But yeah, we did that. It was cool. My kids got to do it. I've never done that with my kids, like waiting in line for it. It was pretty cool. They were happy. They were happy. Like they had fun. They had so much more fun than just ordering stuff online. When I was driving away, I was like, "Wasn't that fun?" My son was like, "It was really fun," and my daughter too. Dope show. Ricky B Loco. What's going down, man? Yeah. So where we at? Where we at with GameStop? I've been busy. I've been at GameStop. I've been shopping there. So I really haven't even looked at the stock. 2352. Down 1.51%. Cool with me. I'll show you why. Y'all are the regular ones that come around. So you already know there's a gap down here on the 1 minute time frame. There's gaps over here to the 2250 range. But also while we're doing that, we're establishing gaps to the upside. So what do I think is going to happen? What do I think is going to happen? Where's our gap down here? We'll probably come down. I don't even know what happened to that gap. It was there. Maybe I need more gaps to be open. I think let's see. I have it set to 150 gaps. It's a lot. We change it to 200 and it'll probably show up. Yeah, but other than that, the second GameStop I went to, the thing is, like, when we do these Prismatic Evolution, the dude behind me, I basically sold the pro membership while I was waiting in line because here's the gap right here. Somewhere around here. Y'all just going to have to trust me from now on. There's a gap right around 2250. I showed it on the last live stream. Oh, it's right around here, 2250. Here's the gaps down here. So I guess I imagine us pulling back down here and then coming back up, looping back up to fill up the gaps to the upside. And where was that? $24 range, and then keep moving past up on past it. What's up, Mind Games? Welcome. Hello, CCP. You're having a wonderfully blessed, divinely guided day. Thank you. All good, man. Yeah, Elite Team 51. So let's see. Yeah, so I see us pulling back to the 2250 and then popping back up above this high right over here, which we had 24.25, and moving our way on up to 30, and then eventually it'll be 50. Time will tell. So one thing that's happening, we always talk about weakness of the U.S. dollar. So that's still declining, even though they're like, oh, we have trade. Trump's is like, we have trade deals in effect. In the works. We still had nothing solidified. July 9th still could reverberate very hard on the markets. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. They're talking about China having a deal or working towards a deal. I feel like they're telling you there's going to be a deal, and then at the last second or something's going to happen in the end, and then you'll see a market drop. The U.S. dollar is still depreciating, even though all this bullish, all this stuff is bullish going on. Why are they still depreciating? Let me move through it real quick. Goldman Chambers. Oh, and Goldman's talking about hedging the U.S. dollar. Goldman's chambers see currency hedges accelerate dollars fall. The dollar is likely to extend its and take a look at where this was said. The dollar is likely to extend its worst start to a year as foreign investors boost their currency hedges. Okay, according to Richard Chambers, global head of repo trading at Goldman Sachs Group. We do expect to see higher currency hedge ratios given the heightened volatility. He's the co-head short macro trading at the bank at Goldman Sachs. It's an event hosted at the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. So yeah, Goldman is saying all of that. They're saying the foreign investors are hedging the U.S. dollar. Dollar's still going down. What happened over here? Recession risk holds steady. This was Goldman. Goldman Sachs. What happened over here? Hold on, let me refresh this. Goldman Sachs dollar is the dog that didn't bark as recession risks hold steady. This was 5 days ago. Despite global flare-ups, turbulent trade backdrop, dollar's recent weakness has puzzled markets. In the latest Global Views reported dog that didn't bark, financial services firm Goldman Sachs argues that cyclical tailwinds simply aren't strong enough to overcome the structural headwinds facing the U.S. economy, even as near-term recession fears ease. Okay, so what does that mean? What are they talking about? They are talking about this. The reason that the U.S. dollar is still going down while there's positive sentiment about trade and tariffs and all of that is because that little positive sentiment is not enough to keep it up. Why? Because of the trade deficit. This is why. U.S. goods trade deficit widens in May as exports fall. So I believe we are importing more and exporting less. I forgot. I'm gonna read this just to make sure. I think 10 billion less is what the number came in. The U.S. trade deficit in goods increased in May amid a decline in exports, but ebbing inflow of imports likely positions trade to make big contribution to growth to GDP in the second quarter. Okay, the goods trade gap widened 11.1% to almost 100 billion last month. The Commerce Department Census Bureau said exports goods dropped by 9.7 billion. Okay, to 180 billion basically, 179.2. Goods imports were little changed at 275. So we have that deficit, right? We're importing $275 billion worth, and we are exporting only 179 billion worth. So we're still importing the same amount of goods, but our exports are going down. So we're making less money. We have to find somewhere to finance that gap. And the gap is growing, and there's less investors. People are hedging our currency. So that is why the U.S. dollar is still going down. Who's going to finance us the gap, the difference, while the dollar is still depreciating? Why would they want U.S. dollars at that point? So that's why the U.S. dollar is still going down. There's still room to go down, analysts are saying. So we'll see. What are we here for? We're here for GameStop. How good GameStop is doing. How amazing GameStop is. PSA cards, we were looking at it. We had it at like 1,400, 1,300, I think, in the 1,000, like in the 1,000 range, and this fool came out.
Wants to submit your Pokemon cards and other cards for you for grading. This is terrible. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce 2. My name's Will. It's another beautiful day here in Texas. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. So some very interesting news actually was officially announced today. GameStop has launched their program where they will submit your cards to PSA for grading. Now, if you're very familiar with grading collectibles and grading cards and sports cards and things like that, you know that this concept is not brand new. The concept of a middleman, middle being somebody between you and the company grading your cards, in this situation, GameStop, is not a new concept. People have been middlemaning for card grading for years and years and years, and there are many very well-respected, reputable, and established companies out there doing this, and these people are professionals with TCGs and understand the ins and outs, and are people that you can really trust with your TCGs for grading. Now, the interesting thing is now
why is he so jittery? He went to that the YouTube school of what's that dude, Thomas, whatever, the guy that his facial expressions.
GameStop wants to do this. We know that GameStop had started entering the collectible card market, in the past when they started buying your graded PSA cards from you. Lots of coverage on that. You could go in and you could sell your PSA cards, and then GameStop started selling PSA cards that they were buying. They're literally they're just flipping the PSA graded cards that they're buying from people. I made a bunch of videos on that. GameStop even had one of their lawyers reach out to YouTube and strike my account, and all this absolutely crazy. We got the strike removed, so I'm grateful for GameStop for giving me an opportunity to do that. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be less critical of this situation. Thousands of videos on YouTube showing you how to submit your cards to PSA.
You get the point. You get the point. This dude is hating on GameStop nonstop. Every one of his videos hating on GameStop, hating on GameStop. He's a Pokemon collector. I'm sure he sells stuff too. That's probably why he's hating on GameStop. But that was the sentiment overall when GameStop started, and now we've grown to like it was $8,000. Not dollars, 8,000 cards. The count. Someone told me yesterday. Can't remember. My bad, guys. But yeah. So oh, there you go, 8,028. Yesterday we were in the 7,000 range. Now we're up to 8,000. So this thing is a machine that's just going to keep running. You know, people want master sets. They create PSA master sets, regular master sets. People buy cards they don't even want just to complete their set. You know, I have all those currency trading cards. I don't have time for anything, man. Honestly, I don't have time for that. I'm only a few cards away from completing a whole set that I don't care about, but I might as well complete it and then sell it, right? Or whatever. Just complete it just to complete it. Maybe my son can have it and it'll be valuable later. But that's I was watching Morant's last night. Yeah, that was good. That was good live. The ending was good with Morant's. But here we go. Okay, so that's Pokemon. Just another thing. Here's Bitcoin. I think yesterday I was playing this. I don't know. I'm all scattered. I got stuff to do. Things to do. I get on here. I'm like, I gotta bounce. But let's see. Schwab. Okay, now Schwab is talking about GameStop. And I think yesterday I was saying I think the turnaround's here, and I think it's here because Ryan Cohen. Do I have the wrong video? See how I'm doing this? Yeah, I think it's because Ryan Cohen's made a couple appearances on video, what he said at the shareholder meeting, all of that. Really, it's the appearance, the video that he did, just to put his face out there because he doesn't normally. He's a very calculated person. But yeah, let me get to what I'm doing over here. I'm not gonna play that one. I want to play this one. I think in the end they end up telling people to buy calls as usual. That's what the media is doing. They really want retail into. We already know hedge funds tell CNBC what to say. I don't even know, this is Schwab, but probably the same rules apply to all the media networks as they're owned. You know, who would not, like, if I had a business, I want to navigate the narrative of how we come across to the public. You know, so anybody who owns these media stations wants to navigate the narrative of how they come across to the public. Retail traders, so don't get it twisted. All right, these are business owners. Okay, they own it. So here you go. Watch them tell people to jump into options at the end. And short-dated options at that. But regardless, they talk positive about GameStop. I think this one they talk positive about GameStop. And this is another indicator of why I think GameStop's turnaround is closer to being completed than not.
Now we have this big gap to the upside. So if we can get through the bottom or the top of the bottom of that gap at 24.41, you know, who knows where it starts rolling in from there. And so when you get a play like that and implied volatility is also low, I think it's worth a shot. And I realize I don't want to say it's a joke because it's still real money, but it is a fun stock to watch because there's a lot of different market participants and things going on, fundamental values and all that stuff that people want to argue about. And it's just fascinating to watch what can and has happened.
Okay, some say the game don't stop for GameStop, but what does the chart tell us, Ben?
Well, you know, Diane, this is a stock and a company that's reinvented itself so many times, and the chart is doing the same thing, right? We look over the course of this last year, and you can see some really varied movement, right? So it came down, it found that bottom down around that $19 mark. It rallies back up into that 30 range. And now you get this gap to the downside on the earnings announcement. And the question is, where does it go from here? I think if you look at that RSI, I mean, I think we're going to look at that as kind of the key here. We get this big move to the downside and a little bit of a rally back up into that 23, 24 area. I'm just going to kind of round, or traders typically tend to round those numbers off. And you get a bounce down today, a little bit of a downward candle, gap down, and a bit of a sell-off. It looks to me as if it is a bit of a dead cat bounce here on GameStop with that possibility of a move back down to that diagonal trend line, which puts it down to the support around the 21 mark. If it doesn't, if we get some reversal here, if that RSI starts to pick up, you could see this kind of game that system back up into that gap, and there's not a lot of resistance in that range until you get up about the 26 mark. Beyond that, then you get the resistance where at the top edge of the gap up around 28. So there are some stopping points to the upside, but if this just kind of falls flat here, you could see it stay down around this 22 level, Diane.
Okay, Mike, really quickly, love to hear you go through what your approach is for GameStop.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same sort of thing. That I'm not saying that this is the low. I'm saying that if the traders start coming in and get above that level, so I put together this is going to be for July 3rd, the 25-26 half call spread, and you can buy that.
Okay, this wasn't the positive one, but you see, they're pushing out July 3rd calls to the media, not media, retail investors. So, yeah, that's so reckless to do. What is that? Like when was this? 4 days ago? Like what is it? Like a 2 week expiry? 2 week expiry? This is ridiculous. Okay, so where are we at right now? We have. Let me check out the chat. See what's going down. On games. What's up, man? Yeah, I haven't caught any of your lives lately. I gotta go say what's up to you whenever you go live. Been really busy. So Donko, what's up? John T. Singus. I think I keep asking this, but why do shorts keep digging deeper and deeper when they can't win? I think a lot of it is ego. I think a lot of it is learned behavior. Learned behavior as far as like they're used to just always winning because they can manipulate the market. They can filter trades through dark pools, this and that. There really has like all of their. I truly believe like the reason GameStop went the way it did is because all of their prior plays have always worked out because they were able to manipulate retail's mind with market psychology. You've seen the market psychology chart that goes up, down, dips constantly. You have your peak, you have relief rallies, all of that. They're able to. They hire psychologists to know humans, like ordinary humans' mindsets. Emotionally, there's things called neuromarketing that pull at heartstrings from in a marketing standpoint. I studied marketing, so in marketing, I took the chart down. My bad. In marketing, there's something called neuromarketing. It's something that touches deep in emotions, deep into emotions, and releases dopamine. It's words and sounds that have little dopamine releases. So I'm sure they do the same damn thing with the chart, and they're so used to winning from 2008. 2008, we learned that if you hold for 4 years after a crash, you're gonna recover, right? .com bubble. They always know when to write it down, when to write it up. No Tony De Niro, but that's what it is. Market psychology. So yeah. So moving along. But that's really what I think it is. I think that it's the first time that people have just held and they keep holding, and while they're holding, they keep accumulating more. And you know that. They got caught. They got caught. Really, it's not retail that made the price go up. You've seen Keith Gill at Congress say that. Yeah, it's not retail. They just got caught, and they're with their margins. Pants down. They got caught with their pants down. Right. That's what it is. That's what I believe it is. But GameStop is very unique. It's very unique in that. I mean, why do I need to say this? Right. It's very unique. Like, look at this spike up here. And we're still right over here. Every single time we retest these levels, you should feel bullish as ever. Because, I mean, Roaring Kitty has spoken about it. Every time you retest, that means strength. That there's something going on at that level. It's strength for the stock that we have made it back up to that point. And we're over here 1, 2, 3 times just since May of last year. We have reached the $35 level. So this is definite strength. I have no doubt that we're going to make it back up. Another thing. So everyone wants to be bullish now, right? Let me see. I had an article. What's up? Because I can. I saw that. What's up? I made it to GameStop. Got a whole rack of boxes. I was messaging him earlier in the Discord. But yeah. So what was I even talking about? Okay, yeah. So the dollar, everything's great with the economy. SPY is it at all-time highs? Okay, we're all-time highs now, right? Okay. All-time highs, SPY is at all-time highs. Everything's all-time highs. But GameStop's down. Okay, so what was the prophecy, right? Market crash. Now I remember. My mind is like all over. Yo. I'm on baby watch, so if the baby wakes up, I have to go get her. She's sleeping right now. Yeah, so the economy is going upwards. Stocks are going upwards. They want to say that all these tariff deals are in full effect. They want to say whatever. Everything's going good, right? Everything's going good. Large cash positions. They want to lower margins for banks, capital requirements for banks. Okay, so GameStop closes 23:59 today, 4 o'clock. They want to lower capital requirements for banks. All right, you want to shoot the market up to all-time highs? GameStop will ride it right with you. You know, so either way, we're going to win out in the end. Whether it be a crushing market drop that requires a lot of liquidity, which, hey, why are they now deciding to lower capital requirements for banks, globally systemic important banks? Why are they deciding that right now? Because something's going to happen this summer. Why is Goldman Sachs saying, Bank of America is saying if something's going to happen to the U.S. economy, it's coming this summer? Why are tariff dates of July 9th, August 9th going down? X date for the debt ceiling for the government, right? All of these things are going down. The funding for the debt for the government, all of these things. It's like to me, it sounds like a perfect storm. So let's just say it crashes, liquidity issues occur, and you know what happens at GameStop when there's liquidity issues, right? It shoots up. So other than that, it probably would pull down and then shoot up, right? So if that does not happen, and the market's just bullish, economy's bullish, and they want to keep pumping it up, GameStop can go right with them, you know? So for me, either way, it's a win-win, no matter what happens. I think it'll accelerate. If there's no pullback in the economy, I think it'll just accelerate us. Because if we shoot up recklessly, violently, are we going to pull back down? Where are we settling? If we do this strong, long and strong, no Tony De Niro. Definitely not Tony De Niro because he's none of those. But let's go. If we just ride this up steadily over time, like, how much more bullish can we get? The pullbacks will be less and less. Like the depth of the pullbacks of the down days will be less and less over time. But and in the meantime, you want to take even longer? Let Ryan Cohen mess around and get to 20 billion. I know that when we hit 10 billion, his mind is on 20 billion. You know, like we're all like, wow, we got $9 billion in cash. Like around when we were at 4 billion, my mindset was like, he's thinking about 10 billion. And then now when we're at 9, I know he's talking about 20. You know, and then we have how long is the runway? 7-year runway for us to return that cash, 0% interest. People gave us free money, so Ryan Cohen could just take that cash, produce profit for us, take that in and return the money if he wants. We don't know who the institutions are. We don't know if they held a short position. Is this a way for him to like be like, all right, you want to close your short position? I'll give you an avenue, but the avenue you're going to have to take will make GameStop will be bullish on GameStop. You know, rising institutional investing. Maybe this is the time where they go long. You know, because shorts will have to close and end up long. So I'm kind of getting this feeling a little bit about just the whole overall thing. How I'm talking about GameStop being at the precipice of the turnaround. You know, Ryan Cohen is not gonna announce it. I better move along, honestly, because there's a video I want to get to, and I'm just talking over here. All right, cool. So we did that. We did the world market stuff. Commercial real estate. You know, U.S. commercial real estate credit faces increasing distress. Delinquencies rising. Total distress exceeding 116 billion, the highest in over a decade. Analysts warn of potential tsunami of issues as traditional lenders grapple with unrealized losses. Market uncertainty. I don't need to read more about this. It's just multiple problems all over the world. What did you pull in that Team Rocket Pokemon box? We got that was my son's. He was itching to open it. He got a Latios. He got some other stuff. Latios and whatever the helper of Arceus he was telling me. I don't know the something with the M. He got a few nice cards that he liked. But I think the Latios full art was what he liked the most. But yeah. So moving along, GameStop's balance sheet, you know it's all good. We're improving. People like Hannah Reloaded are still on YouTube pushing that narrative. I wonder if they pay these little micro influencers to go ahead and just keep pushing it, like they're on a payroll, right? Keep pushing it out no matter what. Negative GameStop videos. But who cares, man? I can't control that, right? I can only control what's above my feet, wherever my feet are, that's where my head is. That's what I can control. My actions. What are my actions? Buying GameStop, shopping at the store, buying product. That's what I can do. So that's what I'm gonna be. Let's see. I got these idiots over here. PP Seeds. Let's see what he's talking about. Bed Bath and Beyond. They're still on it. They're still on returning their shares. I should have done the GameStop stuff first. Maybe I'll do. No, I'll do theirs. They're idiots.
There. I mean, there's a lot of kind of communities out there, I think, but I think ours is most certainly, it has to be the smallest, right? GameStop's pretty large, but I feel like a lot of it kind of melded together, especially when Roaring Kitty returned. I think a lot of these GameStop investors out there, like, you know what, maybe these guys are onto something here. You can't deny the fact that Roaring Kitty used the PP Show music. You can't really deny the fact that he posted this backstage RC or backstage Kitty, who we know as like this backstage RC that would drop tinfoil. So, I don't know. I truly think that we're right here, fellas. And I truly believe that there will come a time when, we'll look back on this being some of the hardest years that we've ever had to experience, right? I mean, a lot of us went heavy, myself included, nearly $80,000 invested into Bed Bath & Beyond. And I held straight through cancellation. So, but I'm betting big, man, and I think this is the one.
They think they're gonna get their Bed Bath and Beyond shares. This is crazy. Hold on one second. Is this the video that I needed? I'm like, I just added this right before I like threw this in. I was like, let me see what's going on. Let me see. Oh. My notes are all messed up. Okay, hold up one second. No, it's not this one. Okay, there you go. They still think they're getting shares. Okay, it's this one. Okay, we're good. And here you go. Michael, here's Michael. Guy Rosen, cash doubled, so cards inventory also doubled since first bond distribution. Jesse, what's up? Okay, so cash doubled, cards inventory doubled. I mean, I've seen it ride down from 6,000 down to 1,000 and then back up to like 5,000. So I don't know if that's the reason. Did they buy a lot more? I just think DB has a warm seat caption in my eyes. I always remember Morantz clowning him. That's the funniest thing. What are you going to do when you're wrong, Morantz? But here's Michael losing again on options constantly.
Good to see you. I'm still wearing the Ryan Cohen shirt to show the love, even though just got wrecked on options again. But it's okay. It's interesting because actually I had a long back and forth thread. Like, I actually put it in the chat with Jake 2B about whether Ryan Cohen would do another dilution, right, or another bond offering specifically, which is a much better dilution because with all the if you notice, I actually just posted the cost to borrow went up on GameStop.
So Michael needs to keep GameStop out of his mouth, but he just said he got wrecked on options, right? Here's yesterday.
What's going on, Michael? Great to see you this afternoon. How the fuck have we been, my man?
Doing good. Good to see you and everyone. Chat.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Are you playing options on GameStop right now? Obviously, it looks like we're pinned here at 25. I have a couple options end of July. A couple I scooped up. They were pretty cheap, under $1 per contract. 25. I mean, I can't help but feel like, the stock price is a lot higher than what it is, right? Or it should be a lot higher than what it is. Company sitting on tons of cash. Company basically has non-existent debt at this time. If you want to call this bond stuff debt, whatever you want to call it, I don't believe it is, right? So I personally think that the stock price should at least be in the 40s right now, right? So I do have some 25s on end of July. I'm hoping.
So whatever you see, Michael got oh, here you go.
Bill print. Michael, are we playing any options? Obviously, it looks like we're bill print.
A couple for August 15th. It's like 22.
Just a few days after he got wrecked, he's playing options again. These are degenerate gamblers. That's what they are. But there's one more thing. There's one more thing I want to talk about them, because I'm not just. I got to make you laugh. Listen to how they're talking about how they're going to get paid their lost BBBY shares, their Bed Bath & Beyond shares. Listen to this. This is the most comical thing I've ever heard.
In U.S. Treasuries to the stablecoin companies. The stablecoin companies could issue a dollar stablecoin to pay the shares that were counterfeited. And so you have this wealth transfer from those central banks all over the world to us, and it puts us on a more of a blockchain system. So we would get, instead of like actual, Federal Reserve notes, we would get U.S. Treasury digital dollars in our Bed Bath & Beyond like cash payout.
I mean, I like it. Obviously there's this big push like for digitalization of assets. We know that Bye Bye Baby has basically been tokenized, and there's actually some new stuff.
So they said central banks from all around the world are going to pay them in U.S. treasuries back into their accounts. Are they nuts to balance their accounts? They're wild. Idiots. I got to clip this. This is just the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. But regardless of that, okay, cool. Making of a meme king. The reason I nicknamed that clip Michael the Maniac. That's what I'm gonna clip it and post it as. Yeah. So making of a meme king. I like to revisit how they talk about Ryan Cohen, how they talk about GameStop, how they relate Bed Bath & Beyond to GameStop, CNBC, because I already know they're paid off. I already know Jim Cramer told you they just make up calls to people like Bob Pisani, who is still there from early 90s when Jim Cramer was talking about it, or late 90s. Bob Pisani is still there doing the same damn thing, reporting for hedge funds. He's a puppet for hedge funds. They got their hands way up his butt, ass, whatever. Really funny. Magic Crypto will pay. I know, right? I know. I heard that. I was like, what? So I just opened the transcript and I searched Bed Bath, and that popped up. I was like, these people are wild, crazy. But yeah, I love to see how they spoke about Ryan Cohen back then, and it's just crazy because we know how it all turned out. Turned out perfectly. We got $9 billion in cash, no debt, really no debt. You can't call that debt if we give all the cash back, 0% interest. But here we go. Saw the baby move, so let me start this off.
But I think I can do it this time around.
Ryan was having a lot of trouble getting investors. He was knocking on doors, he was sending emails, he was just getting rejection after rejection after rejection.
The more I was told no, the more I was motivated to prove everyone who I felt was almost betting against me that they were wrong.
It was so critical for us to get that investment. There were times where I was convinced that I was going to walk into the office and there was going to be a sign on the door that said, "Go home for the day."
Ryan did a good job of not projecting that, and he negotiated quite effectively. We invested $15 million in Chewy's Series A round. We were the sole investor in that round.
That's what ended up allowing us to bring fulfillment in-house, allowed us to have control over the entire customer experience from start to finish.
He told me he read every single review every night. Ryan kind of threw all the conventional protocols out and said, let's just start with the answer. The answer is we need to have customers who will love us.
So for Chewy, customer service.
So yeah, Ryan is relentless. The hate is fuel to his fire, and that's what's driving him. So that's how I know he's never gonna lose. He said it himself. What's up? It is true? Okay. My son was like, I'm ready for Ryan. I'm like, Ryan's not going to be there at the Pokemon release today. But I'm glad he has a sentiment. Maybe I'm a little too much. But let's see. Here you go. This is the whole... you just listen to this, what Larry Chang's about to say, you're going to know why why Ryan Cohen is so quiet, why he's silent. He's just mimicking what he did at Chewy. Listen to this. It'll just... I don't need any comfort, but if you're ever worried about why GameStop doesn't talk, listen to this.
Of Ryan, if you get to know him, which is utterly paranoid about competition. We didn't want to alert anyone, especially Amazon, that the company was doing so well. The PR strategy at Chewy was to not do PR. We wanted to stay below the radar until we had north of $1 billion in revenue.
It was just an incredible business. We built a machine. We built a machine.
Ultimately, when PetSmart reached out to us, Ryan essentially told them, you have to hit this price under these terms, and you have 30 days to do it. Otherwise, I'm not spending time on this. Almost like you're going to give me your cash, 7 years, 0% interest, or I'm not going to do it. To hand over the cash, $4.2 billion, fool.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. What else did he say? The other dude, what is his name? Jake something? I can't. No, I can't remember. Whatever. He was talking about we built a machine at Chewy. What do you think GameStop is? A profit machine. He has made it profitable. Q1 worst quarter profitable. You know, it's just going to keep going and going, especially with things like PSA being so successful. That's just the market. That's a market that will keep churning, nonstop inventory. And then we even have something to do with the packs that don't sell, the power packs. Wildly successful, sold out. I couldn't get one. You know, they're reselling on eBay, but he is building a business that will just keep churning. It'll be a machine. It will be a machine. You know, shrinking the footprint. It all plays a part in that. Look at how efficient. Look at how efficient we have become on our gross margin, growing to 34.5% from like 27 point something percent, just based on Q1 quarter for quarter. But yeah, let's go. Let me go on to the next thing.
And I remember at that time thinking, Ryan, you probably just killed the deal, but that.
He then, around November of 20, wrote a letter to the board, and that was disclosed, telling them that their strategy was flawed and that he had great ideas.
My favorite part was this all caps, italicized, underlined sentence that says something to the effect of GameStop's challenges stem from the intransigence of management. So basically he's saying you guys are all incompetent because you missed the boat on digital spending.
I could tell from the letter that, you know, he didn't have access to all the internal data. So I wasn't as optimistic as some of the other coworkers. And again, one of those, you know, first thoughts was, Ryan, this is a different market. You cannot digitally download dog food.
That verbiage right there. Hold on. You know, I knew I didn't do my job. Ryan Cohen interview. There was there I go. There was some older interview. Not to waste people's time. Maybe I need to find it. I'll take my time and find it. Somewhere in one of these interviews, this old dude was in it. He was like, "You can't digitally download dog food." Michael Packer said the same thing. You can't digitally download dog food. And then this older GameStop employee is saying the exact same thing. Ryan, you can't digitally download dog food.
That was, Ryan, this is a different market. You cannot digitally download dog food.
So they found a GameStop employee that was there before Ryan Cohen and got fired when Ryan Cohen came in and cleaned stuff up.
That company being pushed to conduct a
that could mean a big difference in the stock.
GameStop up another 20% after a near 60% surge yesterday. At one point,
at the same time, folks on Reddit started posting about how they thought GameStop might be severely undervalued, and all bought a ton of GameStop, and they sent the price skyrocketing.
What
No, we didn't.
the heck is going on with GameStop?
390% gains on a year-to-date basis. GameStop shares creating more than $3 billion in wealth.
One of the craziest things that I've covered is the meme stock phenomenon. I don't know if there's a real definition for meme stock, but this is the way I view a meme stock. A stock that, by conventional fundamental analysis, doesn't have many growth prospects. And for some reason, the Reddit community gets a hold of this and believes somehow that they can turn that stock around just by momentum of them being in it.
FOMO, fear of missing out, is what drives meme stocks higher.
Ryan Cohen is the poster child for the meme stock phenomenon. He is the meme stock king because of his role at GameStop.
So Ryan's in uncharted territory as a deeply operational activist investor who also sort of is that first generation.
Bro, I don't even know. They were just talking about retail sending the price skyrocketing. Let me see. I got some parts over here. I'm not on baby duty anymore. My wife's back and my daughter. Mommy spent $114. She wants to trigger me. Groceries.
And I think he was the figurehead. He was sort of the anti-Wall Street.
Knowing Ryan, it is actually a good choice. He is challenging convention. He will buck traditional wisdom. He will go after giants.
It felt like we were all trying to fight
This fool, Brandon. You'll figure it. Is it Brandon? I don't care.
the big corporate greed. My name is Brandon. I've been on Reddit, I believe, for 6 years. I did not know what I was doing when I started investing. Ryan Cohen, I had started to learn about him through the GameStop communities, and I started buying more GameStop because I liked what I had heard. He was a regular guy that became a billionaire. Well, why can't I do that too?
He was supposed to be this great businessman who would make GameStop very profitable.
He came across that he was on the side of retail investors.
He was supposed to make GameStop very profitable. What are they now?
I think at the core of the GameStop movement, it was basically stick it to the man.
When I was originally a part of these communities, that was a big part of the sentiment. It wasn't just a bunch of people trying to get rich, and that's how I felt at the time.
Sorry, bro. Hold up. On to the next part.
Those plans always exist.
He posted a GIF from the movie Ted, and it was the teddy bear, taking a bong hit. The stock went straight up on that. Like, what was that? He showed a soft serve ice cream from McDonald's, and the stock went straight up. So I'll give him credit that he's a meme master.
Ryan and I are both on Twitter. We're very different on Twitter. I've talked to Ryan about how people look at our tweets, and I think we wish people wouldn't scrutinize them. We'd rather people just take the tweets at face value and not impute some sort of ulterior meaning in any of them.
Right there, okay? All these fools out there, all over Reddit, Richard Newton deciphering tweets, this and that. No, forget it. It's just a tweet. Look at the fundamentals. Look at the balance sheet. Look at the improvement over time. This thing was posted 1 year ago. And now where are we sitting? Undeniable $9 billion in cash. Undeniable. You want to take that away? All right, cool. $5 billion in cash, right? 500 million in Bitcoin. It's ridiculous. I just can't understand. I understand fully why GameStop continuously gets denied, but hey, keep accumulating, right? That's what's gonna get us rich. Richer. I'm already rich. Spiritual currency, guys. It's the most valuable currency that there is in this world.
Anything he does into bullish sentiment. I originally would bet for Ryan Cohen because I believed he was a man of the people and was going to take these companies somewhere. My feelings about all this started to change when Ryan Cohen, in my opinion, rug pulled Bed Bath & Beyond.
That's what it is. That's what this whole thing is about. Bed Bath & Beyond. So disgusting that Ryan Cohen got in, he had to get out right away. Because he saw what was going on the board. He knew it was set up to fail. He got out. They wouldn't listen to him. Let me see. Over here, Larry Chang says the same. He says that somewhere over here.
We turn now to the end of an era. Another popular retailer going out of business.
Amended filing, it was sort of filing, is that Ryan Cohen sold his entire stake, every share.
That's not something small. We're talking over $140 million. That is a non-trivial amount of volume to get sold. I was not paying attention to Bed Bath & Beyond at all until his trades came through.
Forensic accounting professor they brought in to look at Ryan Cohen's trades.
True. A trade of that size, it's only natural that sort of raise red flags.
Shares getting crushed right now, down 40%.
Such a gut punch, but what you saw was like all these people were just left with shares that had just crashed.
Ryan Cohen's investment in Bed Bath & Beyond probably lost a lot of retail traders' money, but it turned out very well for him. He walked away with around $60 million in cash in his pocket. And that's not because he turned the business around or because he brought some clear change. It's because retail traders followed him in and then he sold out. And that raised questions.
Why would this not be about GameStop? Why is this gearing towards Bed Bath & Beyond? How he rug pulled investors. They want to scare you. They want to scare potential GameStop investors, current GameStop investors, to get you to sell shares, real shares, so they can finally balance their books. They're trying to do it slowly over time because they're not going to allow their ego to let it shoot up again. If it shoots up again, they're wrecked, Here's Larry Chang about to say Ryan sold out.
All I can say is that once Ryan became aware of the obligation to make the
This is Ryan Cohen's attorney.
Filing, he made the filing, and I think that at the time he had not decided whether he was going to increase his position or decrease his position.
I think it's a good example, though. Like, if Ryan enters a situation and can't influence or make the changes that he would want, he didn't stay in it. I think people have to appreciate that that's always a possibility.
So in the days after we learned that Cohen dumped his entire stake, we also learned that the company was going to go through this massive restructuring.
And then it came out that some suppliers weren't getting paid. 2 weeks after that, they announced horrible quarterly performance.
Bed Bath & Beyond announcing plans to lay off about 1/5 of its workforce and close about 150 stores.
It made people wonder what Ryan Cohen knew about the company and what it was planning to do when he sold that stake. Did he know that the company was going to go this route?
His fund basically placed 3 board members onto the board. It strains credulity to believe that the board members wouldn't be aware of what was going on at the firm. And so then you start to wonder, well, what's the connection between the board members and Ryan Cohen? And so not only did the trade show up on our radar screen because of the size of the trade, but also because it was made by an individual who is intimately connected with the company.
The directors that were actually inside the boardroom, they're not beholden to Ryan, they're independent directors, and Ryan had no influence or control over, the decisions that they would make.
Ryan Cohen saw dollar signs instead of doom. The e-commerce entrepreneur sought a total transformation of GameStop and found his way into the boardroom.
What can I tell you about where GameStop is heading? I can't tell you where GameStop is heading. It's not that I don't know, but I think that's best told by Ryan.
Ryan just told you, right? Diversifying your investments, 500 million in Bitcoin, gearing towards trading cards. I mean, look at the lines outside of GameStop every single Friday. People buying extra. I can't even tell you how beneficial it is. People are saying, "Oh, it's just cards. I mean, they're going to just get the profit off the cards and that's it." No, they're selling pro memberships. I didn't even keep track, but like the 3 people in front of me, 2 out of the 3 people in front of me got pro memberships. The dude behind me, I sold him a pro membership. I just told him, I was like, yo, it's cheaper if you get it. I heard him talking about like, I used to have a membership and this and that. Then I was just like, it's a great value, I was like, I used my $5 coupon. I was just selling it, standard stuff. I was like, sometimes you can get it for $15 for the year. So anyways, dude signed up for a pro membership, but it's the benefit of this. Think of all the people you're bringing into your store every single Friday buying extra merchandise. You walk in the line, it loops to the back, comes around. It's like the IKEA thing where you're just trying to get out, but you're lost in the damn store. You got to go through everything to get out unless you know the shortcuts. So this line loops around the entire thing. And while you're slowly walking through the store, I'm looking at all the products. I'm looking at all the used games. I'm looking at all of GameStop's private label products. I was looking at the Switch 2, controller, the adapter for the Joy-Con, the handheld one, the GameStop branded one. That one looks pretty good. So yeah, you see all of the merchandise. You go through every section. You go through Nintendo section, PlayStation section, retro section, the consoles and everything. So it's awesome. I think it's perfect. This is going to bring in so much more money than just a Pokemon box, along with that. But yeah, Ryan Cohen's got this thing running.
Ryan is the chairman of GameStop, and he runs the place like he owns it. He's used to operating as the guy in charge, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Ryan Cohen and the GameStop board, they haven't offered forward guidance at an earnings call for 2 years now. They're not really telling anyone what's going on with it.
On typical Wall Street calls, you've got the CFO coming on, talking about the results, taking questions from the analyst communities, really sort of inviting investors into the company. But here, they're
Adam Aaron did all of that, remember?
Operating behind a wall, not even a veil. It's more like a wall.
Now, ask yourself, why would GameStop do an earnings call and not take questions? And the answer is because Ryan Cohen doesn't want anybody challenging him.
When Ryan Ryan came in, whether it's trust issues or whether or not he just wanted to, recreate the old good times we had with Chewy, he went out and grabbed all those employees and brought them in.
He thinks that his views are right. He has his people that he trusts. But other than that, he's not going to try to appease anyone.
The impression that we got was, okay, if you're pre-Ryan Cohen, you're a complete idiot. If there had just been one smart person in the company, that person would have ascended to the top and would have ran the company, and the stock would have never been worth $4.
Turning around any company is not like flipping a switch. It's like moving a large ship that's got tremendous momentum and trying to shift it into a different direction. It takes time, and those efforts are happening.
One of the first things...
It takes time. Turning a company around is like a large ship having a full head of steam. It takes time to turn it around. He said the efforts are happening. 1 year ago, Ryan Cohen is out here talking about GameStop's future, how we're into trading cards, how we're into how we're doing with digital games. He addressed that whole thing. Michael Packer's all of his efforts he puts forward to is how GameStop is dying, how they have 7 years, a short runway. Ryan Cohen has eliminated all of that talk. Okay, people are still in there buying physical games. Go to videos, look at the comment section. Everyone wants physical games. Physical will probably have a sort of resurgence, But I personally only want physical games. But that's just me. That's my mindset. There's many people out there, probably people buying digital. There's people in a mix. People that just buy digital that are cheap on deep discounts, which I understand that completely. But Larry Chang said it right here. It takes time to turn something around. It's been time. Ryan Cohen's come out talking about GameStop's direction. That quote just now clicked in my head earlier where he's like, we had Chewy running like a machine. So, Ryan Cohen's trying to get GameStop running like a machine, a profitable machine, a money-making machine. And then what do you think he's going to do with the extra cash? Going to go out there and we're going to flourish. We are going to flourish in whatever he chooses to put that into. Whatever, whether it be a merger acquisition, buying small controlling stakes of companies, just buying into companies, multiple investments wherever he sees fit. He's a great investor, right? He saw all of this coming, all of this profitability he saw coming when everyone is telling him no. This is the perfect Ryan Cohen situation.
Things that I noticed when I joined GameStop was that we were opening up new warehouses, and they were big warehouses. It was kind of taking from the same playbook that...
Well, initially, Ryan's agenda was to get rid of a lot of the bricks and mortar store, streamline the company, make an e-commerce first company. And I think he tried to do that. Along the way, he tried a lot of sort of out-of-the-box things.
The NFT marketplace idea, I don't think that GameStop has any competitive advantage in that. Zero. I don't think he has any ideas that are fresh and
out-of-the-box
Why is this man sitting like a gorilla? Look at this.
The NFT marketplace idea, I don't think that GameStop has any competitive advantage in that.
Sitting like a monkey at the zoo, straight up. That's what he is. A monkey at the zoo could pick a better price target for GameStop than this fool.
Zero. I don't think he has any ideas that are fresh and new and different that will allow GameStop to thrive.
I think the passage of time will see who's right. The critic who probably hasn't put up their own money is not an investor in GameStop. It just is just a critic. It's so much harder to be an author, and that's what Ryan is.
He's an author writing a story. It's captivating. Michael Packer, he probably put up money, but he's going the other way of GameStop. But yeah, so what? You're going to talk about the NFT marketplace? Okay, he adapted. Ryan pivoted, created space for his shot. He's on offense, man. Basketball. There's just offensive scorers. They're shooters, right? Shooters take shots. You create space in basketball. If you're a good ball handler, you go left, you go right, jab step, back, create space. You get the defender dancing, and when they cross their feet, you step to the side, create space, take your shot. So that's what Ryan Cohen's doing. We're hitting NFT marketplace. We're hitting Pokemon. We're hitting retro gaming. We're doing the marketing online. Buck the Bunny. We're doing it all. Omni-channel marketing. Current up-to-date inventory. We are doing everything. We are creating our shot. He is creating the GameStop shot. Killer.
I think if Ryan's goal was to make this an e-commerce company, the plan didn't work.
Shut the fuck up.
See, Alibaba.
People were scratching their heads. What does Ryan Cohen?
When you follow an activist investor is when they change their minds, you're going to be left with nothing because everybody's going to run away from that. That kind of risk is not a risk that I'd be willing to take if I were an investor, or certainly the SEC would not recommend that you take those kinds of risks.
We know. You made a whole commercial telling people not to invest in GameStop.
Should have realized that this was all too good to be true. If I could speak to these meme stock Reddit communities, that you guys really need to be careful. If you don't trust the people on Wall Street, these billionaires, why are you trusting another billionaire that's not really seemingly being very forward?
I think
maybe because he put all his money on the line for GameStop, hasn't sold a share. That's what I have today, guys. It's Friday, man. I gotta go make some pizza. Let me play something on the way out of here. Let me check the chat before I go. Anything, yo. Derek, what's up, man? I saw your comment on the other video. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people up in here. Let's see what's going down. Yo, Burton, welcome, man. That Michael thing was funny. When Larry Chang said Ryan didn't want to reveal his plans until $1 billion revenue, how exactly did Chewy come out and become attractive enough to be bought out? I don't know. I haven't done that research. Maybe I can look into that. But Chewy was fully e-commerce. GameStop's a different breed, but he brings his principles with him to GameStop. That's what he does. Same business principles, wowing the customer, but GameStop's a little different. We already had a customer base. He didn't need to go out and wow as much as he did in Chewy, especially because we have the customer touch point with my employees that I manage. No, my employees, with the employees at GameStop. The personal interaction, the touch point is right there. You have multiple touch points with submission with PSA, and we wow them that way. You know, with the knowledge about games, the personal conversations, the knowledge about all the products. The people selling the Pokemon cards today, they have all the knowledge. They were talking about their collection to the customers, and they're wishing people good pulls and all of that on the way out. All of that, even though you don't know, that makes a difference. That's what goes to neuromarketing. It's a dopamine hit that you don't even realize is being released when someone's like, good luck on your pulls. I hope you pull something great. You know, you're like, thanks. Walk out. You don't know. Dopamine's been released. You know, there's certain words and things like for mothers with babies, a baby cry, coo, a cry, not a cry, a baby laugh releases so much dopamine. Like it's ridiculous. You ever marketing something to babies? Have a baby giggling around like that sound. You know? What's up with Jesus? What's going down, man? Derek. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing, man. Feel real good about Ryan in this video. Thanks for the info. Absolutely, man. It's funny. It's so funny to go back and watch these things. Knowing where we are right now, knowing our conviction, and we were right. Yeah. Well, will anyone go to Twitter, gamble in the stock market? Why? Yeah. Why would they do that? And Brandon's all angry about Brandon, that fool. Where'd they get that guy from? Keep him in the dark. I like Ryan's results. Everyone person, don't even listen to earnings calls anyways. Exactly, right? Burton, Ryan, and Larry are just on another level. I like the fact Ryan doesn't say much. It triggers the meltdown laugh each and every time. It triggers the whole media. We got the whole media up in here. They brought Michael Pachter in here. Brandon's up in here. His lawyer's up in here. Larry Chang. Who's the other dude? Mark Robinson. He's up on here from GameStop. They brought everyone in for this hit piece, and I bet what they were doing. They're probably like, told Ryan Cohen. They're probably like, "Yo, we're releasing this documentary. This is what it's gonna be. We'll give you one chance to get on this." So I feel like Ryan kind of sent. I can't even say this right, but this is what I would do. So you're gonna have this documentary come out about me, and it's gonna be negative. They give you one chance, you know, to put a little say in it, to interview. I'd be like, okay, Larry, you go in lieu of me, and you talk, you know? We had Ryan's lawyer over there defending him, Larry Chang defending him, the other dude from Chewy defending him. I feel like that's what it was. This was a complete hit piece, and they offered Ryan Cohen to come on and talk. He declined, obviously, so he sent Larry and his boys to come clean things up. But it's obviously this is geared towards a negative sentiment towards Ryan Cohen trying to get investors to sell. They barely even talked about GameStop. It was all Bed Bath and Beyond. Well, listen, fat boomer, anything else, sitting like a gorilla, straight up. NFT marketplace proof of concept still be used one day, 100%. I called you boy, yo, my boy, yo, Jesus, 100%, man. I have somewhere around here is a book, Tokenomics. It's NFT. Talks about NFT. It's crypto, yo. Um, I mean, I've said it here. NFTs can be used for anything. It is like it's just complete verification, right? With your digital ID for whatever product, plane tickets. It can be plane tickets. Complete verification that you are the owner. You are the sole owner, right? Plane tickets, identification, passports. It can be anything. Securities. It really can be anything. So there's massive potential. So yeah, it's a prototype, just like character assassination. Best words you can use to describe it. Um, yeah, he was like he's defenseless in there, and they're going in to beat him up. I mean, in the eyes of that video, right? But yeah, so NFTs can be used like so well. Like, I mean, they encompass everything: land, right? Property, real estate, even in the digital world, property, real estate. So it really can be used for anything. Proof of concept, I like that. I like that. Same thing, proof of concept, right? What did we do with the power packs? Released it, probably gathered information, see how fast they sold out. Um, Probably looking into which customers, which pro memberships, their spending habits, which ones scooped it up, just whatever. It's a proof of concept. We always have that in our bag. He's probably thinking that like how to get rid of cars that don't move in our PSA market. That's now over 8,000. But we're working all over the place, man. We're fully humming. Um, Steady humming, man. This thing is running like a fine, well-oiled machine. Um, fine, well-oiled machine. I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it. But anyways, I think y'all already know what I'm gonna say. But let me find something to play on my way out. Boom, got it. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. Peace.